The following is a special presentation of Shane Harris Tonight, rebroadcasted tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern via tape delay. So, what is a cartoon? For some, a cartoon is not just a genre. It's an art form. It's a language. Spoken by many. Shown by the dozen. Cartoons is an international form of self and team expression. Animation for some tells the stories that the creators want you to hear, just like an author of a New York Times bestseller. For some, it's always a tough challenge. Some never made it to air in the United States, or some were just left waiting and collecting dust. Others made it to TV here in America. For some, it was tumultuous. For some, they started off real hot, but then that fire burned out quick. But some managed to rekindle its old glory, while others were forced to soldier on with all of its momentum lost. For some, they were screwed over by networks. Some were restricted to just apps that no one had, or due to major bickering battles in Washington, D.C., certain cartoons were forced to be sent to the chopping block, when in reality they still had plenty of gas left in its tank. For some, many cartoons are best remembered for what they had. A neo-retro look is the case of a few. Quirky animation is another one that once perceived as great. A story that's basic. Characters who live by no rules. And characters whose theme songs live in our heads. For some, they shook hands with many different kinds of guests, ranging from top Hollywood actors at one point to people who actually work for NASA. There were many different kinds of great people who voiced these characters. Scott McCord, Lion Smith, Mark Randall, Jason Marsden, Jonathan Tan, Courtney Taylor, James Arnold Taylor, Sharon Mann, Andrea Libman, Nancy Cartwright, Corey Doran, Vincent Tong, Tasia Eason, Taylor Abrahams, and so many more great faces that either managed to go big or just live under the radar. Ever since the tournament was launched back on April the 4th of this crazy year, this will determine the next fan art piece that the Shane Harris Tonight YouTube page will have to deal with later this year. Initially, Shane Harris Tonight was a concept derived in 2023 to bring the most underrated cartoons known to man and put it in a tournament with a decent prize where the fans can determine the fate of what's next for their enjoyment. The results were about to unfold, but unfortunately, when the project was first commenced, Shane Harris's now deceased father, now watching our programming in heaven, and still working on great things up there for a person who has more respect than the president, the Lord Almighty. His father did not let him do YouTube videos, and his restrictions put a burden, a creative bubble, a box that he cannot escape. Following his unfortunate passing on April the 2nd, 2024, the invisible shackles were cut off, and Shane Harris managed to launch a YouTube channel dedicated to so many great things he likes, and to prove that he's just not another human being in this God-forsaken planet. In the end, so many great things came about. 2 future fire truck musters, and 1 huge cartoon tournament, and 1 magnificent cosplay. The moment has come. Friday, April the 11th, 2025. Mayhem shall be unleashed. Welcome to the first and probably only one of its kind. This is the Shane Harris Mayhem Tournament. The winner gets a new fan art piece that will be presented on my channel. A vote that's fair, determined by many, until the end of March 9th. One of these cartoons will make history. And now, live from the Norman Ira Harris Memorial Studio, somewhere out in the middle of southern New Jersey, here is your host, Shane Harris. A pleasant good evening to you all. I'm Shane Harris. This is one project we have all been waiting for, the Shane Harris Mayhem Tournament, one that I've highly publicized this past month, and even the month before. I've been making the rounds on Facebook and YouTube as I try to get as much people to head on to my channel and vote, so they could see if one of their favorite shows will end up becoming the future fan art piece here on my great YouTube page. My channel managed to start with humble beginnings, only doing comments way back in 2019 or so, and then started making videos last year. And now, about almost 70 subscribers, and many people tuning in from around the world, from across the United States and Canada, and also people from the UK, France, and the Philippines all come to watch some of my great videos that I have. This tournament has plenty of international flavor, but this one does not have sports washing or some stupid political agenda tied to it. This is a tournament that's in the hands of the viewers that I'm looking right at. the people who watch my videos every week since the launch of Shane Harris Tonight last year. As I head over to my little handy-dandy bracket, let's take a look at it. The Shane Harris Tonight Mayhem Tournament has 24 great shows from 4 different countries. There is 4 sections. You have the Northwestern, featuring Ejixis versus Packages from Planet X, Super Noobs versus Oban Star Racers, and Kick Batalski versus GarageBand. In the southwestern side, you have Camp Lake Bottom versus Little Einsteins, Fangbone versus Atomic Betty, and Monster Buster Club versus Dude That's My Ghost. The southeastern bracket features The Replacements versus Jimmy Two Shoes, Mission Force 1 versus Johnny Test, and Code Lyoko versus Street Football. And in the northeastern bracket, Detention Air and Get Ed, plus Wayside and the Weekenders, and DNAce and OKKO. Out of these 3 matches on each quadrant, the winner will move on to this upcoming Friday's second round matchups, where there's going to be a triple threat. 1, 2, 3, 4 triple threat matches. Or as the GWF, the German Wrestling Federation, once always called them, a 3-way dance. So it's going to be pretty epic. So, this upcoming Friday, you will participate in round 2 action, where it's a triple threat in all 4 quadrants. Then, the winning show from all 4 quadrants move on into the final 4 in 2 weeks. Then the week after that, May the 2nd, will be the finale, where it's going to be a one-on-one, the best from the left side and the best from the right. And then on May 9th, the winning cartoon shall be presented. And during the few days I have in between in terms of breaks, I will write down more on this neat little bracket. And also, I will write down the fate of each show on the tournament on the back of all of my Shane Harris Tonight competitor posters. The voting ends every Thursday afternoon at 12 p.m. So once I get home, or if I don't have work on a certain Thursday, I can write down the fate of all of these shows and also construct the next set of questions that will determine how things will go every Friday until the winner reveal on May 9th. You may be wondering, how do you vote? If you use a phone like I do, or if you use a computer, let's say either a desktop or a PC, you would notice if you click into my channel with the Ace Ripley icon that I have, which is obviously the same as way up there, Ace Ripley and his hazel eyes looking at me every night because Canada is the best. Of course, if you click into my channel, of course, with that iconic thumbnail, you will have to go to a section labeled Posts. The Posts is formerly known as the Community tab, where I usually put out previews and other questionnaires. In the Post section, every Friday, you will see a new batch of questions that you can click on. There is 2 choices, and for the second round, there'll be 3 because of the triple threat rules. And then it'll go back to just one or the other. There is no wrong answer, no money having to be used. It's just you, your due your due diligence and a few seconds of your life that you need to just commit to in order to vote. There is no match fixing involved because I'm a very fair person, let's be honest. And at the end of the day, at the end of every Thursday, the votes will be gathered in. I'll write down everything, and the next round can commence. As of the broadcast of this video, some questions are already available since Friday morning, like really early Friday morning, which is today. So, answer all those, and I'll see you next Friday night to kick off round number 2 and tell you about the cartoons that failed to get out of the first round. Till then, I'm Shane Harris. Good night, and enjoy the festivities.